Excellency Mr. Hao Junshu, the Vice Chairman of the Standing Committee of the Beijing Municipal People's Congress, His Excellency Mr. Yi Xiaoshun, former DDG of the World Trade Organization, His Excellency Ali Obaid Al-Daheri, the Ambassador of the United Arab Emirates to China, His Excellency Mr. Zhaoyan Li, former Vice Chairman of the China Insurance Regulatory Commission, and Mr. Wang Huiyao, President of the Center for China and Globalization. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to thank the Center for China and Globalization for this invitation to address the 9th China Inbound-Outbound Forum. I also want to specifically call out Henry and commend him as the president of CCG, for his leadership, his passion, and great intellectual acumen in driving CCG to become, perhaps, a best-in-class think tank. The world economy is transforming in large part to the rapid evolution and growing adoption of information and communications technologies. Although the pace of digital transformation varies, all countries, regardless of size and might, are affected. This has significant implications for the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for the Sustainable Development Goals, presenting immense opportunities, but at the same time, daunting challenges. Digital technologies are a powerful enabler of development, allowing countries to accelerate economic growth and link citizens to services and jobs. In times of crisis, from natural disasters to pandemics, including the COVID-19 pandemic, digital technologies boost our resilience by keeping people, governments, and businesses connected and empowered. Access to technology, however, is far from equal. Around the world, widening digital divides threaten to leave developing countries, especially the least developed countries, far behind. While 93% of the world's population lives within physical reach of mobile broadband or internet services, only 53.6% of the world's population can now use the internet, leaving an estimated 3.6 billion people without access. The least developed countries rank last, with only 19% of their populations using the internet. This is alarming, ladies and gentlemen, frankly unacceptable. With access to technology and digital economy, it will be harder to achieve the SDGs and improve the lives and livelihoods of the world's poorest and the most vulnerable in all countries. Unless we connect the dots, we face a disconnected future. It is paramount, therefore, that we foster digital inclusion, work to close digital divides, ensure that data-driven digitalization can accelerate global opportunities with which we can mitigate potential consequences. Urgent action is needed to ensure emerging technologies are made a global public good, equally accessible to all geographical regions and every section of society. Building an effective architecture for global digital cooperation in areas such as artificial intelligence can better support the attainment of economic, social, and environmental objectives of the 2030 Agenda. Disinformation, misinformation, cybercrime, the spread of violent extremism and terrorism, and online abuse and harassment, particularly targeting women and children, must be addressed to reaffirm the centrality of human rights and the individual in a digital era. This requires greater engagement from all countries. As the United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, has said, and I quote, We have a collective responsibility to give direction to these technologies so that we maximize benefits and curtail unintended consequences and malicious use. End of quote. The UN Secretary General's roadmap for digital cooperation lays out a roadmap in which all stakeholders play a role in advancing safer, a more equitable digital world, one which will lead to a brighter and a prosperous future for all. Ladies and gentlemen, today's forum provides a timely opportunity to bring relevant stakeholders, showcase solutions, and nurture partnerships to advance digital cooperation. China, as the world's second largest economy, leads the world in many applications of digital technologies. But these trends also come the duty for all countries to harness technology responsibility. The moment calls for new and improved governance of the digital space, nationally and internationally, based on international norms and standards. Here, the United Nations and China is keen to act as a bridge to leverage China's relevant development experience, including in digital technologies, for the benefit of the developing countries. We stand ready to offer our support and technical expertise. No country, institution, or company has the resources to achieve the SDGs alone. Strengthening multilateralism is our only choice. Through global partnerships, which includes governments, enterprises, individuals, we can take action and innovate together to realize the 2030 Agenda and its central promise to leave no one behind. After all, the Sustainable Development Goals is our global North Star. It inspires hope and must be achieved by 2030. And to do that, the UN Deputy Secretary General, Ms. Amina Mohammed, often reminds us when she says, we have to flip the orthodoxy. Thank you very much. Xie xie.